Parsha Bereishit offers, of course, so much depth, so much that we can't relate to, but of course, so much that we can relate to. Obviously, one of the most difficult parshos as far as truly understanding these 6 days, and certainly I'm not going to go into all the various interpretations recently in terms of how we mesh these 6 days with all the scientific implications, etc., etc. There's certainly many books have been written about it, so we'll leave that for the religious scientists to deal with. But fundamentally, in terms of understanding the what Chazal tell us about the nature of creation and how it was all dependent upon Bereishis, Bishvil Bereishis, the idea that the entire world is all contingent upon the fulfillment of the Torah. Yom HaShishi, we see it again, not only in Bereishis, Bishvil Bereishis, because of the Torah, but also Yom HaShishi, there is an additional, Rashi says, Shehistimon, Amanashi Kabbalei Misol Chamishi Chum Torah, the Hashishi, the Hay of the Hashishi, reminds us that the entire world hangs upon this concept of the fulfillment of the Torah, and how, in a sense, Klal Yisrael is holding up the world by their commitment to Torah, by their fulfillment of the Torah. That's why this world exists. And even the second pshat that Rashi brings in Yom HaShishi, Kulam Tuliyim V'onim Ad Yom HaShishi Hu Shishi B'Sivan. It all is sort of hanging in abeyance till that 6th day, HaShishi, that other 6th day. Not just the 6th day of creation, but in a sense, the second 6th day of creation, the 6th day of Sivan, when the Torah was given. So really, everything that we have in this world, this incredible vast universe that we are discovering, it's overwhelming breadth and depth and ever-expanding size, which is almost unimaginable for us to even consider what the light years, and then the limitless and almost infinite levels of the stars and the constellations and the galaxies. It keeps going on and on. It's all here because of, I guess you can say, little old us, and just the Klal Yisrael, this small nation whose whole purpose is to keep the Torah. And in particular, of all the mitzvahs, certainly Shabbos is one that one could focus on in this week's parsha, because, again, it seems very fundamental and very basic that Rashi tells us that when Vaychul Hashemayim V'Aretz V'Chol Tzavam, Kadosh Baruch Hu completed his work. He says, so what does that mean? V'chal Elokim b'Yom HaShviim Pasuk Beis. So Rashi brings up pshat. Ma hoya olam chasur. What was the world missing? Menucha. So Kadosh Baruch Hu built this incredible world, but again, we see the centrality was missing something. What was it missing? It was missing menucha. Bo Shabbos bo menucha. Okay, kol savinigmar hamalacha. So it does seem from the words of Rashi, when you analyze Rashi, that the menucha wasn't, or Shabbos isn't an absence of work, which is what's conventionally understood. We desist from activity on Shabbos. It's really much more than that. It's not about desisting from activity. It's about bringing menucha into our lives. That there was an actual creation in the world, in the Yom on the 7th day of menucha. Okay, the world was lacking something. So it wasn't, if it was lacking something, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, let's bring that lack back into the world, let's complete the process. That process is menucha. That process, of course, is spirituality. That process is, as the Mefarshim explained, the ability for Shabbos to be a day of a unique connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So much so that now my work is complete. Even though certainly the 6 days does represent the opportunity for a person to do mitzvos, fulfill the Torah, to learn Torah, but essentially the 6 days is for work. We're busy, we're focused, we're doing our thing. We gotta put food on the table. Comes Shabbos, And again, this is something that we have to work on because of our running around and doing what we have to do during the 6 days. Very often Shabbos becomes sort of a day of just relaxing or just disconnecting from the hustle and bustle, which is wonderful in a certain sense. We certainly need to disconnect, and then but it's not about disconnecting from the world's activities, but it's about connecting to something much more holy or much more sublime. In fact, the Mefarshim ask, this entire process of the Sheshis and Bereishis was balanced in terms of spirituality versus physicality. And the 6 days, 3 days were the upper worlds, 3 days were the lower world. So there was, and then Adam came and he had to balance it out in his own right by having by being an individual that had both the physical element and, of course, the spiritual elements, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu blowing into him the essence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Tzelem Elokim, Nishmas Elokim. These are all concepts of the balancing of the world in a perfect symmetry of physicality with spirituality. Now comes Shabbos, so that seems to be a creation of spirituality. How does that sort of work? And they say that, well, Shabbos was created for man, and man is, of course, made up from both physical and spiritual, so it sort of keeps that symmetry in play. The Shabbos doesn't sort of break that symmetry, explain the Mefarshim. But again, we see, and we have really an obligation to reflect on the sort of the master plan of the universe. It was about Shabbos being that day where it serves mankind, it serves Klal Yisrael, not the general world, of course, us, Klal Yisrael, in the sense that Shabbos was a day for mitzvos. It's a day for Torah. It's a day that the people don't have as much time during the rest of the week to learn. Now is the time to devote to Torah. It's all about the ability for us to nurture our neshamas. So much so that the world was lacking because maybe there was sort of too much of a responsibility the rest of the week for a person to put food on the table, as not to be able to focus. But now comes Shabbos, and now we have to focus. Now we have to take advantage. So it's one of these fundamental reminders when you sort of see how you step back and you see how the world was created. You see what the purpose was for that creation was. That Shabbos needs to sort of take a special position in our thinking, in our experience, and in the experience of our lives. Shabbos needs to take on so much of a special central focus and a central dimension of what it's about. And it's about Torah, it's about mitzvos, it's about reconnecting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a time for reflection. And B'ez Hashem, if we can sort of, as we sort of start this new year, in a sense, finishing the Yom Noraim, finishing Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, this incredible Sukkot holiday. Now we're sort of moving into a sort of the regular routine mode. It's important that routine carry with it a very tremendous focus on the opportunities that Shabbos presents, and clearly HaKadosh Baruch Hu was saying to us that through Shabbos, if the world is complete through Shabbos, through Hashem's creation of Ba Shabbos Ba Menucha, now the world can sort of function. Our job is to, in a sense, also complete our purpose in the world by utilizing Shabbos to become closer and closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.